From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Morning Line. Nick Beres here on a Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. How could you not? The weather was fantastic. Hope all the mothers out there had a great Mother's Day. And now we're back at it for another week of shows. And we're kicking things off this morning, as I mentioned last week. And it's usually a busy program. We're talking Social Security this morning, yet again. You know, this is our regular program that we have every month or so, where we're going to take your phone calls. The number already up on the screen, 737-7587. If you want to ask a question, join in the conversation. Questions about SSI, the Social Security check process, which isn't sent out anymore. It's all direct deposit, as you know. And any new developments out there, you know, as always, it gets busy later in the show. So if you have a question about the process or where you are right now, jump in now. The number on the screen. And as always, we have our regular guest with us, and he is just a good all-around egg. Josh Warren.
Hey, good morning.
Nice to see you this morning, Josh. It is a pleasure. And you have a guest with you this morning. He's joining us this morning, Joe DeBella. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. How are you?
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Why'd you bring Joe along?
Hey, Joe's the true expert. He's a generalist claims representative.
We like that.
Which, yeah, pretty much means he can handle anything that comes into the field office, so he'll be able to answer your questions real well.
Yeah. Joe, how long have you been here now in
I've been in Nashville for about 3 years, but prior to that, I worked in New York for about 5 years.
Okay, sounds good. But the bottom line is, wherever you go in the country with Social Security, it's the same type of thing, is it not?
For the most part, the laws are the same, but for the SSI program, there are differences.
Subtle differences from state to state?
From state to state, yes.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, obviously, Tennessee will take whatever calls from you this morning, and these guys, trust me, they'll be able to answer it as long as we stick with Social Security. Sometimes we get into 10-care questions or things like that, and we'll do our best, but we'll stick with that. All right, I always like to start, before we get to the phone lines, and you know it'll get busy, anything you want to hit on right at the top, remind people, or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things that is coming down the pike, and it's not going to happen for a couple more months, but that is some of the service changes in our field offices. Starting in August, we're no longer going to be giving out the Social Security verification printouts, not the cards. You can still come in and get a card, but that'll be mailed to you from the central office in about a week. What some people do is they come in and they want something that day, and we give them a verification printout. But we're not going to be doing that anymore. There's a lot of fraud involved.
Why does someone need one of those, a verification printout?
A lot of time people feel, or the employers are requesting it right then and there. They're trying to get a job, and they want that printout. But with the online services that we have now, those third parties and employers can access and verify your Social Security number through the E-Verify system and some things like that, and it's really not necessary anymore. So we're trying to get back to our core services. The other thing, in October, we're no longer going to be giving out in the field offices the benefit verifications. You can go online, create a My Social Security account, and easily get your benefit verification from your home, from the library, or from anywhere with internet access. Or you can also call the 800 number and have them mail one to you. But again, just trying to get back to our core services and the things that we need to focus on in the field offices. We're trying to arrange those benefits.
I'm guessing most of the employers, too, on the first part about the verification on the number, are they being alerted? They should know. I mean, I'm thinking most employers, hopefully, if they get this, are going to know not even to have to ask you for that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, more and more we're trying to push out that message to that they have that verification services online.
Interesting. And as far as getting that Social Security card, I always like bringing this up because, frankly, I don't even know where mine is anymore. I mean, I know my number. How important is it that you actually have a Social Security card? I mean, I can't remember the last time anyone's asked me to see that.
Yeah, again, a lot of times with when you get a new job or you're needing proof of your Social Security number, that's what you can use. That is the only official verification of your Social Security number. So even those printouts that we're giving, and we tell you when you get one that is not the official verification of your Social Security number, even though some people accept it like it is.
Yeah. All right, good. Boy, everything is, as you said, over the last 2 or 3 years, everything's going online, which makes sense. It saves time, and if you've been through the process in the past, and I know some of your calls today will be how long it takes, if anything, doing the online stuff just streamlines everything along those lines. So that's where it goes now, as we all know now, too. No one's getting checks mailed to them anymore, right? Pretty much, except for maybe an exception here or there.
There's a few exceptions, but for the most part, and if you're not going direct deposit or getting it through the Direct Express debit card, you need to do that because it is the safest way so that you don't have to worry about it getting lost in the mail or stolen out of your mailbox or anything like that.
Wondering, Joe, in your experience, what questions do you usually field the most? What do you hear from most people?
When they come to the office?
Yeah, come or calls. What do you think? Is it mostly the process?
Well, when people call over the phone, a lot of the questions they ask is, what do I need to bring to Social Security when I file for benefits? Can I do it online? And of course, we're really pushing the online services right now. Yeah. It's the most efficient and best way to file for Social Security retirement at this time.
Best thing is call and find out exactly what you need. Same thing with the processes we've learned when you're applying for SSI. You better make sure you provide everything from the doctors and records and everything. So, all right, listen, the phone line's open, 737-7587. We can get into more stuff amongst ourselves, but really I know calls are already coming in. Lines are open if you want to jump in. The rest of the show till 9. We'll take as many of your calls as possible, be it SSI, the application process, like what Joe was just talking about, what you need to go through this. Give us a call, and let's start things off now first with Rashida. Hi, Rashida. Are you there?
Yes.
What can we do to help you, sweetie?
Yes, I had a question. I was just wondering what the SSI payment's based on.
How they determine the amount of payment you get? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. All right. How does that vary? You want to answer that?
Okay. There's a lot of factors that go into determining your SSI payment. They're all based on living arrangements, income, and resources. So depending on if you have rental liability, things of that, who you live with, things of that nature, we take that all into consideration when we determine your payment amounts. So when you come into the office, we're going to sit with you, we're going to go through all this information, and then that will come up with your benefit amount at the end of the month. And again, one other thing to remember is it's a month-by-month basis, the SSI program, so your check could change on a monthly basis if you're working.
If you're working. Okay.
So at the end of each month, we ask that you bring in your pay stubs, and there's actually a 2-month delay. I don't know how technical you want to get with it, but there's a 2-month delay, and depending on how much you made 2 months prior will determine your payment.
For SSI?
For SSI, yes.
Okay, but just so I'm clear though, so are some people working and collecting SSI?
Yes.
Yeah, basically the way it works is the most you can get on SSI for an individual, I'm not going to get into couples, but for an individual is $721 per month. So your work is offset $1 for every $2. So if you make $500, then we're going to reduce your check by about $250. And so you can, with the SSI program, work and still draw a little bit. Or if you receive some other kind of benefits like VA benefits, unemployment, Social Security, now those kind of unearned benefits is a dollar for dollar offset. So if you're getting $200 in VA benefits, then instead of $721, you're going to have about $200 deducted from that.
And again, just a reminder for folks, people are applying for SSI and qualify for it because of what circumstance in their life?
Yeah, this is an income and needs-based program. So it's a needs-based, as in you don't have the income or the resources there but these
you
have to be disabled.
Yeah, well, that's the key, isn't it? Now you have to. So some folks can be disabled but still find a way to work a little bit. Is that the point?
Exactly.
Okay, to still earn a little bit with it. So,
and also we take into consider spouses'
that's
income,
true.
So that can affect it too.
All right, so yeah, that's the criteria for that. It lays it out, and it varies for every individual. And as he said, it can vary month to month depending on how much you earn.
And if you're over 65, you can get SSI as an aged individual as well.
Gotcha. All right, listen, the number, 737-7587. We're going to take a break. If you're on hold, stay where you are. We'll get to your phone calls if you want to join us as we talk Social Security with not one, but two guests. And I've listened so much, I can answer a lot of these questions too. Jump in. The phones will fill up. We'll get to your calls and more right when we come back after this. Stay with us.